everyone. Welcome to another edition of Disney Vacation Insights here at Laughing Place. I'm Rebecca Mosley, the site's co-founder, and with me we have Heather of MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. How you doing, Heather?
I'm good, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thanks everybody for sticking around. I was having a little bit of a technical issue over here, but I think everything's up and running. I am so excited to talk with you about the 2025 summer itineraries at Disney Cruise Line.
I know, I'm excited too. I think people were waiting for a really long time for these, so I'm glad they're coming out.
Yeah. So just to kind of set the table, we know that a lot of you who are watching are typically theme park goers. So I thought I'd ask Heather to kind of share with you why you should look at a cruise line for your Disney vacation. Why get on a boat?
Why not? I think it's a hard jump, right? If you're a theme park person, it is taking that first step and doing something still with Disney, but outside of the theme parks is a little scary, so to speak. You don't know if you're going to like it or not. But I would say the number one reason is it's way more relaxing than a theme
Yes.
park vacation. You can go and come home from this trip and feel like you actually had a vacation while still getting your whole Disney fix. You know, you're going to see your characters, you're going to have all of the theming and that service level, but you can actually rest while you're doing it.
That's one of the things that we've found over the years when we traveled. We've taken, I want to say, nearly a dozen now over the years. And one of the things that I really like to suggest is when you have younger kids, because you're all together on the cruise ship, and they have those experiences that are unique for the kids, and so you can actually kind of have just couple time while they're in the midst of the Disney magic in that kids zone. You can
Mhm.
have couple time. You can be doing that Disney magic, but in a more refined setting, a little less chaotic setting. So it's a really great opportunity, like you say, to come away from a Disney vacation truly feeling vacationed.
Yeah, it's really nice. And I think that there's also kind of a little myth, or maybe people are hesitant because they feel like they're going to be bored. What am I going to do for a week on a cruise, on a ship I can't get off? Which I think I was a little nervous the first time I did my first cruise, 20 years ago, and now forget it. I love cruising because you can do as much as you want or as little as you want.
Hmm.
And it's kind of a choose your own adventure. You decide what you want to see and participate in. And there's so much to do that even if you wanted to do everything, you couldn't. So it's impossible to be bored on a cruise.
I'm going to say a few hellos. Hello, Sophie. Hi, Rich over at MEI. And I'm going to say hi to Stephen as well, saying hello from Wyoming. As we talk about the 2025 summer itineraries, drop a question in the chat if you'd like. We will do our best to answer them. Let's see. I wanted to, first of all, showcase the fact that the itinerary booking, they're opening kind of in a tiered fashion. Heather, can you talk a little bit about kind of those windows and why somebody would book now?
Yes. So anytime Disney Cruise Line announces new itineraries, they always open a tiered booking window. And this is part of a perk of being part of their Castaway Club. And Castaway Club members are just simply people who have sailed with Disney Cruise Line before. And so the more you sail with them, the more perks you get. And one of the big perks is you get an earlier booking window. So today, right now, Pearl Castaway Club members can start booking these summer 2025 itineraries. And those are, the people who have sailed 25 times or more. These are the Disney Cruise Line super fans. Starting tomorrow, we have Platinum Castaway Club members, and then also Club 33 and Golden Oak members. On Wednesday, we have the Castaway Club Gold members can start booking. Thursday, it's going to be the Silver Castaway Club members, along with Disney Vacation Club members and those who have taken an Adventures by Disney trip before. And then finally, Friday, it opens to everyone. So if you've never sailed with Disney Cruise Line before, Friday is when we can start booking you. And the reason you want to book this early, it seems a little silly. Why should I think about my vacation more than a year in advance? It's because of supply and demand. And as we get closer to a sailing date and the ship fills and there's less rooms available, Disney Cruise Line raises the rates steadily. So the earlier you book a cruise, the better pricing you're going to get. So my advice is always to book as soon as you possibly can, to lock in those best rates.
Apparently, my husband is going to be checking out some cruise itineraries today. So
My booking window opens tomorrow too, Doobie, and I have my eye on quite a few of them. I have to decide which one I'm going to do next summer.
Now, I know later this year, a new ship is joining the fleet. We've got the Disney Treasure will be having its inaugural sailings later this year. It is part of the new class of ships, which is called, you'll have to help me.
Oh, don't ask me.
Is it Triton? Are they calling them Triton?
I don't remember. Don't ask me.
Okay, we're both. Doobie will jump in the chat and tell us. But last year we saw the addition of the Wish, and the Treasure is a similarly sized ship. Instead of it being a palace at sea, they're going for more of an adventure theme. We're going to have Aladdin and Jasmine featured in the atrium area. Anything in particular jumping out got you excited about the Treasure, Heather?
Training class. Yes, the Haunted Mansion Lounge. I am so excited for that. That's one of my favorite rides at the theme parks. And so now you get to kind of have this Haunted Mansion experience without being on a ride. And having been on the Wish and seeing the lounge that they themed to Star Wars,
yes,
not really being a Star Wars fan, I cannot wait to see that space as Haunted Mansion. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited for my husband. He's a big Haunted Mansion fan. I'm the Star Wars fan, and I loved Hyperspace Lounge. Really, just the immersiveness of the environment and the drinks that they had.
They're really cool.
They're fun. Yeah, they were just fun. So I'm excited to see how they bring that fun with that Haunted Mansion element to it as well. The Treasure is Caribbean. So if you're looking for an experience aboard the Treasure, you're going to be looking at Caribbean itineraries. The one thing I do want to point out is if you take the 10-night Eastern Caribbean with the Treasure, that one will have both a Castaway Cay stop and a Lookout Cay. Is it Lookout Cay? Are they going with Cay for this Lookout at Lighthouse?
I'm going to go with Cay just because Castaway Cay, so I'm assuming it's Lookout Cay until Disney corrects us.
So and that's the new destination over there at Lighthouse Point. So if you want to experience the Treasure and both of those spots, you can be looking at those itineraries. But I'm going to ask you, Heather, what itineraries? There's so many. I mean, we've got Alaskan cruises aboard the Wonder. We have some European cruises aboard the Fantasy. Any in particular, jumping out at you?
Yeah, so I am a European travel fanatic. It's my favorite place to vacation. So I'm really into these cruises that they have in the Mediterranean and Northern Europe. But what is jumping, I'm looking over at my other screen, which is why I'm not looking at the camera, but what's jumping out to me the most is that for the first time ever, the Disney Fantasy is going to be over in the Mediterranean. Which is really cool because it's been, the magic and the dreams. So now we have the fantasy over here, but they are doing some really cool itineraries that they've never done before. And it's going beyond, the super long Northern Europe ones or the standard 7-night Mediterranean. They're now doing some shorter European cruises, which they've not done before. And I'm really, really excited because it gives you a chance to either stack the cruises and do a 3 and 4 night back to back while traveling to other places, or you can do just the short cruise and pair it with a land vacation, in England or wherever it may be. So they specifically, the ones I'm excited about are a 3-night France. It's basically just sailing from Southampton, England, going to Cherbourg and back again. And then they also have a 3-night Belgium sailing. These are only 1 day each, August 22nd and 29th. They're only doing it one time. And I think it's so cool because they're places that Disney Cruise Line doesn't normally travel. And in such a short itinerary, it makes it easy to pair or do back to back. And then they also have some Spain sailings that Disney Cruise Line's not done before. And they have 4, 5, and 7 nights Spain sailings, which look absolutely incredible. Those are the ones that I have my eyes on for next summer.
No, they look beautiful. I have yet to travel over to Europe. It's on the list, I think, this summer finally. So I will have more kind of personal experience to share. But you've sailed out of Southampton before, yes?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about it as a port town?
Yeah, as a port town, it's kind of sleepy. It's really just there for the cruise ports. I think most people sailing out of Southampton would really like to visit London. That's the big draw. That's where you're going to fly into. But it's important to know that it's about an hour away from London and London airports. So this is not a port that is, easy, quote unquote, easy to get to. It's not located right next to the major tourist sites. So I always recommend for my clients to fly in at least a day early, and maybe spend your night before at a hotel at the London airports, whether it's Gatwick or Heathrow, and then take the Disney Cruise Line transfers out to Southampton because they are the most economical. We can certainly do car services for you, but you're going to be paying a lot more money. So I think a lot of people wind up flying in 3-4 days before their cruise, exploring London, and then heading out to Southampton to get on the cruise ship.
Now, do you find you have many guests who try to pair cruising with a Disneyland Paris trip, or do you see that being a possibility now with maybe these shorter cruises?
I think with the shorter cruises, it's absolutely possible. It's possible with a longer cruise. Not many people actually do that because you either have to fly and or take a train out to Paris and then transfer over to a different train to get to Disneyland Paris. So I find a lot more people are actually doing Disneyland Paris with one of the adventures by Disney, but it is doable to do from a cruise with Southampton. There's just a lot more steps to it.
Gotcha. I know, I understand. Let's see. I wanted to ask you about the Belgium. You haven't happened to have stopped by the port town that they're going to be going to here in Brussels yet, have you?
I have not actually. Belgium's one of the few countries in Europe I haven't personally been to yet. So now it's maybe I'm doing it with Disney Cruise Line next summer. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it sounds amazing. It's part of a 3-night sailing. This one's in August, so you're looking at a kind of an autumn sail, and it's a 3-night out of Southampton, England, as we mentioned, and with a stop here in Brussels. It's got beautiful architecture, cobblestone streets. Just it sounds very restful.
It looks so beautiful, doesn't it?
Right?
Like this beautiful fairy tale village. And I think that Disney Cruise Line with these shorter sailings are trying to go after the European market or the British market because it's something that's easy for them, just a few days off of work. But I would encourage our American friends to think about it. Like I said, you can pair this with, a 3 or 4 night cruise with 4 or 5 nights in London, and there you have like this gorgeous vacation all taken care of for you. So, or do back to back, do a 3-night Belgium sailing with a 4-night Spain. It's easy to add these all up so you don't have to overlook the shorter cruises as something that wouldn't be worth your while flying overseas.
And if you haven't sailed aboard the Fantasy, it features an Art Nouveau decor. You have Minnie Mouse in the atrium as the statue there in the entryway. Beautiful chandelier. But okay, I don't usually take pictures in restrooms. But the Fantasy, the adult zone of the Fantasy, they have amazing mosaics in the bathrooms that I just adore.
Yeah, and their adults only area I like is kind of themed to that European experience. It's all like, Italy and France and they're trying to evoke Europe, and now you can be sailing in Europe with this ship and it kind of just all fits together, and it's a nice little detail.
DB points out it's his favorite Disney bathroom as well. So there, there you go. If you were,
Disney bathroom is at Disneyland. Maybe we do a show about Disney bathrooms.
we really do. The Disney Fantasy is also going to be doing some sailings through the Mediterranean. They've got a 7-night Mediterranean where you're going to visit numerous Greek isles. You're going to stop by Mykonos. You're going to have a stop in Naples, Italy. 2 days at sea. Just I just can't even.
Yeah, and I think that's something important to note too about the European and Mediterranean itineraries. They tend to be very port heavy. Whereas when you're sailing in the Caribbean, it's much more relaxed. You're more focused on the ship, not so much, the different beaches you're going to be visiting. But when you're sailing in Europe, you want to go to Rome and see the Colosseum and the Vatican, and you want to get out in Paris. You want to go see all of these incredible things that you've read about and learned about your whole life. So these sailings tend to be slightly less relaxed than the Caribbean counterparts, just because there is so much to do and so many ports to see. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't consider them. My very first time to Europe ever was 20-something years ago on the Disney Magic, and it remains one of my favorite vacations I've ever taken.
If you're considering Alaskan cruises, that's going to be the Disney Wonder. This is one of the classic ships. It doesn't have quite as many bells and whistles as the newer ships do, but stunning. It's still a favorite. There's still favorites among many of my friends who cruise often. What would you say? What do you know of your clients? Why do the Magic and Wonder still resonate so well with Disney Cruise Line fans?
I think it's twofold. I think one, it's nostalgia. These are the first ships Disney ever created, the first ones most of us ever sailed on. And so it brings back that feeling of feeling like I'm at home. You know the ship, you have great memories on it, but also the size. These are the two smallest of the Disney ships. And so it feels almost more manageable, especially than the Wish and now the Treasure, which are huge in comparison. And so smaller ships mean less amount of guests, so less waiting in line for things, less feeling like you're one of thousands. You just almost feel like you have the ship to yourself in certain areas. And I think that's why people really like it. And especially when you're going to Alaska, where the main draw is out there, the scenery, getting out onto land, looking at nature. You don't necessarily need the crazy pool slides and all of this stuff to do because you're so focused on where you are.
Yeah, and the beauty of Alaska is, if you haven't had a chance to visit Alaska, I highly recommend it. I haven't cruised there yet, but my family did take a trip along the coast one year, and just in the diversity of beauty up there, whether it's Ketchikan or I actually spent some time in Anchorage and then ended up in Ketchikan. But if you take one of these cruises, you'll be able to stop in various ports, and Disney does a beautiful job, and I know many cruise lines do, a beautiful job of kind of balancing the nature and the culture. And so you can really kind of get to know the region and what makes it special beyond its natural beauty.
Yeah, and Disney does a great job too, not only with the cruise, but they can pair the cruise with an Adventures by Disney add-on. So you can do this either at the start or end of your cruise. So you can take the cruise and see the glaciers and all of these gorgeous port towns, but then get inland and go see Denali National Park and all the different wildlife that's only located inland. And all of a sudden you have kind of this more well-rounded experience of Alaska.
Yeah, if you're interested in cruising, be sure to reach out to our friends at Mousefan Travel, MEI, and Mousefan Travel. They have done a great job taking care of us when we've been booking our vacations, and so we like to suggest that you, as viewers, also visit them when you are considering a Disney vacation, or honestly any kind of vacation. They'll take care of you.
Yes, we book anywhere around the world, not only Disney. So anywhere you want to go, but especially with Disney, I know it can be overwhelming to narrow down the endless choices of cruise itinerary, resorts, whatever it may be. So we can help you walk through your options and make the most informed decision for your family.
And one of the things that the reasons why I like to suggest Mouse Run Travel is because they are, in many cases, Disney fans like we are. And so if you're somebody who's pretty much been a Disney vacationer and now you're looking to branch out, reach out to Mouse Run Travel because they can kind of provide you that comparison because they understand what it is you expect, what kinds of things you've been looking for in your vacations. So they can help you kind of navigate outside that Disney comfort bubble that maybe fitted for your family vacations over the years. So.
Because we do get into our own Disney bubbles, and we have the resort that we like, and think about it, it's hard to go, like, you love Caribbean beach resort, but maybe now you want to try a deluxe resort. It takes you a long time to make that leap because you have your favorites, and so we all have our own Disney bubble, so we're happy to kind of walk you through the options and figure out which next product is going to fit into your little Disney bubble.
And speaking of that Disney bubble, all of my cruises have been in the Caribbean. So
we're the easiest ones for us, right? In America, it's the easiest ones for us to get to. And then we can also pair them, especially if it's a shorter cruise, with a little bit of a stay at Walt Disney World. And then you get the best of both worlds.
Yep. But this year they're adding a new destination in the Caribbean, and that is Lighthouse Point, Lookout Key. So we are I can't wait to hear the first guest experiences aboard this aboard. No, I guess on foot. I don't know.
I don't know what the word. But this is, since Disney announced this, what was it, a year and a half ago? Like, this is all Disney Cruise Line people have been talking about. They're more excited about the new islands than I think the new ships. So this is the big deal in Disney Cruise Line world right now.
Is there anything in particular that you're, as we've heard little details here and there, because I know it seems vibrant, like, whereas Castaway Cay to me seems like immediately chill and mellow.
Very
this
relaxed.
One seems to be much more like festival and like kind of energy. There's a different vibe immediately.
I kind of appreciate that they are focusing more on Bahamian culture on Lookout Key versus Castaway Cay is just like, it's relaxed and it's Disney and it's beautiful and it's my favorite place to go in the Caribbean, but it doesn't have much to do in way of Bahamian culture. And it's, like you said, it feels like a festival. Mickey and Minnie have these brand new costumes that they're going to be wearing. Everything is bright and colorful. They're trying to focus on like the Junkanoo culture of the Bahamas, and also there's different artworks for like the wildlife that you would find in the Bahamas, and they're just really trying to pay homage to that where they didn't so much on Castaway Cay, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I just appreciate that they're going different. Because Castaway Cay has been it's so successful to me. It's like the highlight for me of my cruise, honestly, every time. In fact, it's part of the reason why I haven't cruised anywhere else, because the notion of cruising without Castaway Cay is just hard for me to wrap my head around, because it's such a target for me when it comes to my cruising. But so now there's an anticipation for me of, okay, how are they going to kind of repeat this success? And so seeing them step away from kind of, to me, what made Castaway Cay so special, I'm really interested to see and experience the execution. Will it hit the same notes for me, but in a different way? Because Disney theme parks are that way. Magic Kingdom is very different than Animal Kingdom, which is very different than Epcot, but yet each one, we go to it for, there's certain foundational experiences that we love in each.
Well, and I like that they are doing it different, because let's give people a reason to go somewhere else. We don't need, sometimes Disney, though I love them, they tend to repeat what is successful. And so, Avengers Campus did really well in California, let's go and put it overseas. And I like that in this instance, they're doing something different to give people a different flavor, something else to love about Disney Cruise Line perhaps, and a reason to go take this itinerary and this ship versus that one. Because if everything just winds up being the same, you're not enticing people to come back and try something new.
So if you're excited about Lookout Key, but you're like me, and you love Castaway Cay, don't worry, because in 2025 there are numerous sailings where you can do both. There's 4-night Bahamian sailings, in a Bahamian cruise in August aboard the Magic, where you both have Castaway Cay and Lookout Cay as stops. There's several sailings aboard the Dream in August and into September, some in July. We've got 4-night or 5-night sailings aboard the Dream and aboard the Magic that stop at both Lookout Cay and Castaway Cay.
Mm-hmm.
If that's of interest to you when you're talking to the team at Mouse Fan Travel, let them know, hey, let's take a look at some of those dates that are going to touch foot in both locations. So
and I think that those are going to wind up being the most popular, especially as Lookout Cay opens later this year, and people start to really love it. I think the ones that are going to do both are going to be really popular, and that's where it's key to kind of the earlier you can book, the better off you are. You're going to not, the cruise isn't going to be sold out, and you're going to lock in the lower rates. So just something to think about. I really think Lookout Cay is going to be the big deal for the next couple of years.
And the other specialty aspect of Disney cruising that I wanted to mention is their Marvel Day at Sea. And with these 2025 itineraries, a few of those are also available. That's a 5-night Western Caribbean out of Fort Lauderdale. Let me check on the date there. I think I have it. Show 4 dates. There you go. We've got February and March. That's when these are. These are like springtime cruises.
And so they've been available already to book, and they are so popular. I've not done one of the theme cruises myself, but every client I send on them has nothing but fantastic things to say. They come back having the time of their lives.
Yeah, our team really enjoyed it. In fact, we have an article all about the Marvel Day at Sea. You can read more about that. I'll put a link below for you to find out. And thank you for pointing out that isn't a summer itinerary, because
those were released a few months ago, Rebecca.
Wait, I'm diving back into archives. Okay. Oh man. Oh, I don't know, Heather. Is there anything else that we want to make sure that we let everybody know, other than we just love cruising? I think everybody at some point should take a Disney cruise.
I think we talked details, but like you said, everybody should take a Disney cruise because there's something for everybody. Just like the theme parks, mom and dad can go off to the spa. The little kids are going to be in the kids club. You're literally never going to see them. You're going to have to drag them out to come spend time with you. Everyone can do different excursions during the day, and then you all come back together at dinner and talk about what it is that you did. So everybody has their own experience. It's not one size fits all. And there's plenty to do for adults who, whether you have kids or not, it's not just for families. So the adults can go and have the spa or their own pool area, or maybe a beverage tasting. If you're into trivia, there's that. So no matter what you like, there's going to be an experience for you, and your family can split up and you can feel okay with it because you'll know where each other is at all times. And then you come back at the end of the day and talk about what it is you did.
Yeah, for my family, it's been a great multi-generational family vacation. My parents are able to really take kind of the cruise at their pace, at their leisure, whereas the littles are all over the place, and then the adults, we kind of come and go. And like you say, it's wonderful to all come together in the evening and hear all about the various adventures that we have. And you have the opportunity to kind of run into each other a little bit too. You aren't necessarily scheduling together, but you'll find each other, as you're walking along the deck, and end up having a little bit more time together in that way too. So it's nice. You're not right on top of each other, but yet you are all together.
You can all travel together, but not want to kill each other at the end of the cruise. I think also I like to point out, I think, is for families with young kids and they go to the kids club, adults are allowed to visit on the first day, so you can kind of go in there and see what it's all about. But after that, the kids are on their own, and this is kind of the first place that parents tend to feel comfortable letting their kids go and experience on their own, because they have to be signed in and out of the kids clubs. They have the ability to talk to you either over the app on the smartphones or wave phones that will be provided. The kids can't just come and go as they please. So this is a chance for kids to feel a little bit of independence while mom and dad feel safe about it and confident about it, which is nice.
And for the littles, we're talking infant, they do have paid babysitting. The older kid, like the preschool to teenager, that's included within your cruise fare. That's not an additional charge. But if you're looking for like the non-potty trained littles, now you're looking at now you're looking at babysitting. But let me tell you, one of my favorite moments ever when it comes to cruising was we were traveling with another family, and they had a baby in their party, and the parents had booked Paolo, and so they were doing the babysitting. Well, she was talking about the experience the next night when we were all together at dinner, and when she returned to the nursery to pick the little up, Cinderella was in the chair rocking her baby. Yeah, exactly. She started to tear up as she was telling the story. I was like, "Are you kidding?"
Wow. To walk in there and like it wasn't anything that was scheduled. It was just, oh, I stumbled in and Cinderella has the baby. Like, what else is that could happen? That's so cute.
Yep. And for me, I remember the moment when we were walking the ship and Belle just happened to be meandering around, and she knelt down and started talking to my little guy, and he curled up just right beside her. He was like actually sitting on her dress, just having a little conversation with her. Those kinds of like moments, they can't happen as easily within the theme parks. And almost every cruise we've sailed on, we've come away with a couple of really special little cast or character moments, like I say, that are not as easily experienced within the pace of a Disney theme park vacation. So by the way, if you are thinking about a cruise, any page on Laughing Place you can fill out for a free, no obligation quote from Mousefan Travel, or you can simply visit Mousefan Travel for this free, no obligation quote. Learn more about the cruise. They're happy to, answer your questions. They understand cruising can be a little bit intimidating. I remember my first cruise. I was intimidated. But
it's hard, right? When you go from something you know so well, you consider yourself a theme park expert, and now all of a sudden you're going to try a new vacation you know nothing about. That's intimidating, whoever you are, wherever you're going. So we're happy to talk through the options, explain the different ships, the different staterooms, what the experience can be like, what's included, what's not included. So this way you're going into your trip as relaxed and prepared as you possibly can be.
So once again, the reason why we're here today is because the 2025 summer itineraries are available in that tiered release. Today, we're talking those Pearl level, those people who have cruised so many times, they're booking today. And then throughout the rest of this week, as they kind of make their way through the amount of Disney cruises that you've sailed, those will become available for booking with the general, those who haven't sailed before. Those open when, Heather?
Friday morning, usually around 6 or 7 Eastern. But so if you think that this is something that you want to do, reach out to Mousefan Travel, myself, any of the other agents during the week. Even if you're not going to be able to book until Friday, at least then this allows us to have time to have a conversation and see what it is you may be looking for, so we can be ready to go on Friday. And it's not urgent. We don't have to book you this week. If you need a couple of months to think about it, please don't feel like this is an urgent thing you have to do this week, but the best rates will be available this week.
Well, I want to thank you, Heather, for your time this morning, even though I know it's just fun to talk about Disney cruises. So
I mean, I would do this every day. Like, this is the fun part of my job. I'm always down to talk about Disney.
I was going to say, I know you probably have a lot of days on the phone and on the computer ahead of you as you're doing bookings for your various clients. I wish you all the best, all the tech success I didn't have this morning.
It's definitely a busy week, but at least it's a fun busy, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see you all next time on Disney Vacation Insights right here on Laughing Place. Later today, we're going to have Disney Parks Talk be offering you kind of the latest news around the Disney theme park. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you appreciated what we had to say today, give us a like. It helps the algorithm tell other people to give us a watch. So we greatly appreciate your support that way. It's simple. Just click the like. With that, I'll say bye. Thanks again, Heather. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.